Hello everyone, welcome to 6.3, multiply polynomials. We have two objectives here. One is to multiply a polynomial by a monomial, and the other is to multiply a binomial by another binomial. Just a quick recap, monomial is a polynomial that has one term. Binomial is a polynomial that has two terms. And polynomial is an expression we use when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any number of terms. It's just one common collective name that we give it. Here's our first problem. Multiply 4 times x plus 3. Okay, 4 times x plus 3. The 4 is your monomial. It's a single term. And x plus 3 is a binomial. In particular, we have a particular case of a polynomial, because it could be any number of terms. It just so happens to be 2 terms here, which makes it a binomial. Well, when you have an expression like this, your natural instinct is to apply the distribution property, which is the case here. Go ahead and distribute the 4. So you get 4 times x plus 4 times 3. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 3 is 12, and that's your answer. Very, very intuitive, very straightforward. Okay. Let's look at this one. Y times y minus 2. Again, we use the distributive property. Right, at this point, you don't even begin to see it separately as a monomial and a binomial. It just comes to you naturally that when you see the situation, be it a number or a letter, you're going to distribute it, right? So y times y, and you see the minus in between them, so it has to be minus y times 2. Okay. The property does not change, meaning the distribution still happens. You just have to watch the sign. Y times y is y squared, minus y times 2 is 2y. You know, you always put the number in front of the letter. And that's your answer right there. Okay. How about this one? 7x times 2x plus y. Well, I have 7x. I have 2 factors there, right? I have to multiply the 2 together with each term inside. That's the new thing we're going to remember here. We've mostly seen only a single number or a single letter, and so it didn't really bother us. But now you have to remember to apply the property. Whatever is outside gets multiplied to each term inside. So 7x times 2x plus, that's a sign in between, and then it's 7x times y. Now, if I had a minus 7x, then that minus will have to interact with the plus inside. So watch out for the signs. You always combine the signs, right? So, okay, 7 times 2. Remember, we multiply the numbers together and the like bases together. We combine them. So 7 times 2 is 14, and the like base is x and x. They each have a power 1, so 1 plus 1. I'm just going to write it a little expanded here because we're seeing it for the first time. So 14x squared plus 7xy. Again, the x squared comes so intuitive, but excuse me, it is basically coming from your product property, right? Then we box this answer. Now let's look at this one. I like this one because it has a minus outside. Okay. The minus 2y is your entire term that gets multiplied to each term inside. Okay. We're going to be very careful here, so I'm going to take it step by step. Minus 2y times 4y squared plus, I'm going to keep the sign inside the parentheses as it is, okay, minus 2y. You can't put a plus and a minus next to each other, so I put a parentheses to kind of break that, times 3y. And then you have a minus in the sign here inside the parentheses. I'm going to keep that, minus 2y times 5. You could do that, or you could put the plus and then keep the minus 5 inside. Anything is fine. Okay. So just again, because I showed it to you like this, because it's a video, you can always pause and see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to kind of keep it as plus in between all the terms and keep the minus with a 5. Let me fix that a little better. -5. Okay. So what I've done is I put a plus, by default, a plus between the terms, and I kind of wrote the signs that came with the numbers in when I multiplied them. Okay. All right. So let me take the sign first. Minus times a positive is minus. 2 times 4 is 8. Y times y squared is y cubed. Okay. Do it systematically. The sign, the number, then the letter. All right. I have a plus times a negative. So that's a negative. 2 times 3, 6. Y times y, y squared. I have a plus times a negative, which is negative. This negative times another negative inside here is positive. So it becomes plus. 2 times 5, 10, the y. Now, there are many ways to look at how you want to combine your signs. So this is just one way. I might do it differently in a different problem, because then I might just see it as -2 times -5 as +10. So it just depends on what standard or what way you are used to doing this and to follow it. Let's box this answer. Here again, if there are any like terms, you're going to combine them. If there are no like terms, you're going to leave the answer as it is. But we do have a way of writing the answer. It turned out nicely this way, meaning you always write the powers in descending order. So the power is 3, then the power is 2, then the power is 1, and so on. We like to write it in descending order of powers when we write out our answer. So if your terms are jumbled up, please rearrange them to match the descending order. Okay. Oops. Then we have another problem where we multiply binomials. Binomials are terms, are polynomials with 2 terms. All right, so, okay, do I do the y first? Or do I do the 5 first? Or do I do the y plus 5 first? That's the question, right? Well, it is distribution property again, okay? Just that it's going to be double distribution. Okay. So you are going to distribute, let me kind of explain this to you. You are going to distribute this y plus 5, right, to each inside, to y plus 5 times y, y plus 5 times 8. But we have another method called FOIL. Okay, first, outer, inner, last. That's what it stands for. To kind of make sure that every term gets a combination with another term. Okay. So what this does is, you take the y first and distribute it to the y and the 8 in the other binomial. Then you take the 5, which is the other one, meaning the plus 5, and distribute that to the other 2. So we did take care of the y plus 5. We just split them up into 2 separate parts. So you have 4 arches producing 4 terms. These 4 arches stand for the FOIL. Okay. So first and first is F. Outer and outer, y and the 8 are outers, so that's the O. Inner and inner is your I. Last and last is your L, 5 and 8. So that's how you get the FOIL. Okay. So for trace each arch and write the expression. Okay. So I'm going to take it slowly again. So it's going to be y times y, which is your first arch, the F that connects it, and plus y times 8. Okay. I'm going to put plus between them by default. If there was a different sign, then we would include that sign in the multiplication. Okay. But here you have no other sign, you only have a plus, so it is pretty straightforward. 5 times y for the I part, and 5 times 8 for the L. So let me just write it out here. So F-O-I-L. Okay. So y times y is y squared. 8, y times 8 is 8y. You put the number always in the front. 5 times y is 5y. 5 times 8 is 40. Usually we leave our answer right, the way it is. But here you can see that you do have a chance to combine like terms. Look at these two. These are terms that look alike, meaning their variables look alike. They have identical variable with identical power. And so these two terms are good to be combined. We combine them by combining their coefficients. Coefficients are the numbers in front of them. So y squared plus, again, I'm just doing it elaborately, just so it refreshes our memory. And that will be y squared plus 8 plus 5, 13y plus 14. And that's your answer. Check if they are in the descending order of powers. Yes, they do. We have combined the like terms and we have simplified it to its lowest form, okay, reduced form. So that's the answer there. Take a look at this one. 2y plus 5. At this point, you may want to pause the video and race ahead and do this problem and then see if we got the same answers. Remember, it's 2y that gets multiplied. That's together the term that gets multiplied to the 3y here. 2y to the 4, 5 to the 3y, and 5 to the 4. There are 4 arches making 4 combinations, 4 connections, and they're all they're all matched, right? So we didn't leave out any term or any particular combination. So 2y times 3y plus 2y times 4 plus 5 times 3y plus 5 times 4. Again, if you had any other sign, remember to include the sign. Okay. For example, if I had a negative 3y, then it would have been 2y times negative 3y, and here again 5 times negative 3y. Right? So just watch the signs. All right, so we have 3 times 2, 6, y times y squared, 2 times 4, 8, and then the y, 5 times 3, 15, and then the y, 5 times 4, 20. Look at your terms. You have 4 terms because we got 4 arches. But now you're going to see if there are any like terms. And yes, we do see a pair of like terms, 15 and the 8. So we now have 6y squared plus 23y plus 20. And this becomes your final answer. Because we combined all the like terms, we took care of arranging them in descending order. Well, it turned out that way naturally, so we didn't really go out of the way to do it, but we are mindful of that particular step as well. All right, I hope this was helpful and it was a light section. I will see you in the next video.